A direct conflict between the United States and Iran would struggle to stay local. Because of the geopolitical reach of both nations, a skirmish in the Middle East has the potential to become a global catalyst. This tension has been building for decades. Ideological and geopolitical hostility is deeply rooted in both countries, shaping state policy and defining the public rhetoric on both sides. Economic sanctions are already heavily restricting the Iranian economy, while a shadow network of proxy wars continues to test American military and diplomatic patience across the region. This creates a fragile powder keg. Both militaries are operating closer to open conflict than the public realizes, with any misunderstanding carrying the weight of a full-scale war. If a single spark ignites this situation tomorrow, we have to look at why the resulting shockwave will eventually reach your own doorstep. At hour zero, the diplomatic window closes. In an instant, the Middle East shifts from a tense standoff into active, kinetic warfare. In the first 24 hours, Iran is unlikely to wait for a conventional military buildup. Their strategy favors immediate speed and shock to achieve their objectives before a full response can be mounted. The opening wave uses high-end military hardware, like the Fatah missile, to launch sudden strikes against United States bases across the region. Simultaneously, secondary waves of Qurra drones would deploy in swarms, aiming to overwhelm regional radar systems and critical infrastructure. This creates immediate chaos. Command centers are forced to manage multiple incoming threats while assessing the damage to their logistics and communications. This shock-and-awe campaign is designed to paralyze U.S. forces and regional allies, buying Iran time before a massive counterattack can be organized. Away from the military bases, the strategic maritime geography presents a massive economic vulnerability for hundreds of civilian vessels currently at sea. This is the Persian Gulf, but the real danger is the Strait of Hormuz. Its geography forces global shipping into a tight bottleneck. 20% of the world's oil moves through this choke point. If blocked, that supply is cut off instantly. By shutting down the strait, Iran turns a regional military battle into a global economic hostage situation. The United States would likely respond with a massive conventional counteroffensive, leveraging its significant naval presence in the region. High-tier aerial assets such as the B-2 stealth bomber would be used for precision airstrikes deep into Iranian territory. At the same time, invisible cyber attacks would target Iranian military and communication systems, aiming to dismantle their ability to coordinate a defense. The intended military goal is to surgically disable Iran's ability to fight before the conflict can spread to other nations. However, high-intensity munitions are difficult to contain to military grids. When strikes hit targets near urban centers, the resulting destruction often draws a response from regional actors, risking the exact escalation the mission was meant to prevent. Once the conflict spills over borders, regional neighbors and existing alliances are pulled into the power vacuum. Local militias across the Middle East would likely activate, turning the abstract threat of proxy war into physical ground combat in multiple countries. Allies such as Israel and Gulf nations face an immediate active threat, either from direct strikes or the need to preemptively join the fighting. This creates a macro-level danger, where other global powers may step in to protect their own strategic energy and economic interests. Because of the modern network of geopolitical alliances, a localized spark in the Middle East is prone to becoming a continental fire. Eventually, the consequences leave the battlefield and enter the lives of civilians worldwide. Uncertainty and broken supply chains trigger a crash in global financial markets, as investors react to the sudden instability in a major energy-producing region. The disruption in the Strait of Hormuz hits home almost immediately. Within hours, surging energy costs lead to massive price spikes at the gas pump for everyday consumers. The combination of crashing markets and an energy crisis threatens the stability of the global economy, making the war a domestic problem for countries thousands of miles away. In our interconnected world, the ultimate question of a modern war isn't just who wins the military battles, it's how far the consequences travel.